Beep.
Hey everyone, Shaylee here, and Corin. And who else is here with us?
Mommy, Daddy.
And Declan. Declan was born. So this is going to be another From a Wife's Perspective vlog. Unfortunately, Ethan is not able to do a vlog with me. He's actually studying for his Step 2 exam, which is tomorrow. So Corin's gonna help me, huh? You gonna help me?
Happy.
You're a helper, huh? Yeah.
Anna.
It's on. So I just kind of wanted to talk about the second half of the third year of med school and kind of from my perspective and Ethan's schedule and whatnot. So first I just wanted to kind of explain, I don't think I did this with my last From a Wife's Perspective video, but I wanted to explain kind of the lottery system. And basically for third and fourth year rotations you're assigned a lottery number. The medical students are assigned a lottery number, and based on that you can select your tracks, and if you have a good lottery number then you're more likely to get the tracks that you want. So as it turned out...
Happy.
Yeah?
On.
It's on. As it turned out, Ethan had kind of an easier first half of the year. I was really nervous going into January, which was surgery, just because I knew that it was going to be super busy, and I'd kind of heard horror stories about the busyness of it for Ethan. And it did prove to be true, but we made it through. Ethan started out, and let's see, I made some notes, in vascular surgery for the first month, and then the second month he was in surgical oncology. And these happen to be some of the most time-consuming and difficult rotations, apparently.
Beep. Beep.
Beep. So he would get to the hospital by about 4:30 in the morning, which meant getting up about 3:30. And this was every single morning that he went into the hospital. And with surgery, you are working about 6 days a week. Now with the first month of vascular surgery, he actually, the way it worked out is he worked the first Saturday and Sunday of the month, and then he was actually able to get the other 3 weekends completely off. That definitely made for an incredibly long 2 weeks, since he worked every single day for 2 weeks, but it was kind of nice that he was able to get the rest of the weekends off, and it was much needed, because obviously getting up at those insane hours, he was completely exhausted. So like I said, he would get there about 4:30, and then he would get off anywhere between about 5 and 8 or even later. This is because sometimes last minute he would get called into a surgery, and we wouldn't really know if that was going to happen until, you know, it happened.
Yet.
Do you see lights? So, I just didn't really have any expectation as far as him being home at a certain time, because we just never knew from day to day if he would be getting home at a decent hour or not. So when he did get home, he would have to prepare for the next day's surgeries by reading up and whatnot. And he would also have to study for the shelf exam at the end of the surgical rotation. So it was a really busy time, not just hours at the hospital, but when he got home, he was constantly studying in the evenings and on whatever days off on the weekend he had as well. Also, there were 2 on-call overnight shifts for surgery during that 2 months, and basically on call for a medical student means that you have to be there. So he's basically just, it's like a 24-hour shift it ends up being, because he has to be there during the day during his normal work hours, and then stay overnight, which most times, for at least the rotations that he was on, he wasn't able to get any sleep or anything, which is unfortunate. But so the second month of surgery was surgical oncology, and the hours were about the same, and he really enjoyed surgery, but it probably, you know, wasn't something that he'd be interested in just because of the lifestyle. We didn't like all the weekends that he had to work. So medicine is the next rotation that he did, and that's kind of the other big third-year rotation that the students do. And his first month was at the main hospital, and then his second month was at a local VA. And with this one, the hours were just a little bit better, which was nice. He was there by about 6, so he got up about an hour before that. And then he would usually get off anywhere between 4:30 and 5. And again, on weekends, he worked one weekend day. But the hours were usually a little bit better. Again, he'd have to be there, by 6 in the morning, but he was usually off by noon, if not like 10 or 11. So that was kind of nice. So that first 4 months of this year was really, really difficult. Both Ethan and I agree that surgery and medicine were the hardest months of medical school thus far. One of the hardest things is that during that 4 months was during winter time, and so it was hard for Corin and I to get out for walks or anything, and so we just felt really cooped up. And then on top of that, just not being able to see Ethan very much. And when Ethan was home, since he had to study a lot and he wasn't getting any sleep, he was just exhausted. And so a lot of times it seemed like he wasn't home even when he was, because he was so tired. And I mean, it's no fault of his own. It's just kind of par for the course. And we got through it, and we're happy it's over. But Ethan did enjoy the rotations, and neither of them are probably anything that he's interested in, thankfully. So after internal medicine, he had neurology, which was for 4 weeks, and those hours were about 7 a.m. to about 3-ish, so we kind of just kept getting better as far as hours, and that was really nice. And then after neurology, he had emergency medicine, which is kind of different because it's just shift work, but those shifts can be, at any time of the day. So he had some overnight shifts, some evening shifts, some early morning shifts. The nice thing about that is that most of the shifts happened at the beginning of the month. They were kind of weighted towards the beginning of the month. So at the end of the month, I think the last 2 weeks he only had like 3 shifts or something, which he still had to go in for a few days of classes. But so this was during the month of June, and Declan was actually born on June 19th. So Ethan had 1 week of school left after he was born. Thankfully we had family here, and it went fine. But so that kind of wrapped up the 3rd year. And looking back, we're really glad that we kind of got surgery and internal medicine out of the way. I don't know if I would recommend doing a back-to-back again, just because it was a really, really long 4 months. But it worked out and we got through it. And one thing that we were really happy about is that he started with surgery first and then went to, and then had internal medicine afterwards. And that's just because surgery was so much more difficult and the hours were worse, so it was kind of nice to at least get a little bit better hours when he went to the medicine rotation. And then obviously with neurology and emergency medicine, it kind of just got better from there. So that was really nice to end the year out, on easier rotations, especially as we welcome Declan into the world. So now Ethan has started his fourth and final year of medical school, which is crazy to think about. We can't believe that already he's in his last year of med school. It's crazy. We're excited to see what this year brings. Ethan has decided on a specialty. He's going to be going into emergency medicine, and that's kind of what made him interested in medicine to begin with. And so he was kind of keeping that in the back of his mind throughout medical school, but most students seem to change specialties 2 or 3 times before finally deciding on one, so he was keeping an open mind. But he is sticking with emergency medicine, and so we're excited to get going with that. We're starting to look at different residency programs which is very, very exciting. And so he's going to be applying in the fall and hopefully interviewing in the winter time. And then next March we will find out where we'll be going for the next 3 to 4 years. So we're very, very excited about this next year, especially, you know, having 2 little boys. It's going to be fun, and I think it's going to go by really, 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 really fast. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I will also link the video that I did on the first half of 3rd year down below if you care to watch that. And we will see you next time. What do you say?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Say thanks for watching.
Take watching.
Bye.
Bye.